December 25, 2025. Merry Christmas, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for joining us on today's edition of the 7 p.m. English newscast on Info Television. Our headlines. The Policemen's Wives Association, known as POA, this Thursday, December 25, honored orphans at the National Advanced Police School in Yaoundé. And the people of Lamier in the Opanyong division of the East region have celebrated the 6th edition of the Kozime Festival, living up to great expectations with rich displays of cultural and traditional heritage. Those were our top stories. Details in a jiffy. Welcome back. The chairman of the board of directors of Cameroon's Agency of Standards and Quality, Dr. Anor Mohamedou Bayero Fadil, met with board members in Yaoundé on December 23, 2025 for the 34th ordinary session. The session examined and approved the 2026 budget and the annual performance plan in line with Cameroon's economic development vision. Jessica Nziwum tells us more.
Board members of Cameroon's Agency of Standards and Quality, ANOR, convened in Yaoundé on December 23, 2025 for the 34th ordinary session of the Board of Directors under the chairmanship of Mohamedou Bayero Fadil. The closed-doors discussions during the session centered on the examination and adoption of the agency 2026 financial budget and annual performance plan, aimed at strengthening quality infrastructure, product standardization, and conformity assessment across the country. The proposed and approved budget was estimated at 16.5 billion francs CFA.
Increase, of the budget for the year 2026. We have got more than 1 billion, 1.5 billion as an increase of the last budget of 2025. The real amount is 16.5 billion.
The session also provided an opportunity to review the minutes of the 33 ordinary session held earlier this year, while outlining strategic roadmaps for the year ahead. These strategies are designed to help the agency meet its targets and contribute to Cameroon's vision of becoming an economically viable nation, in line with the priorities of the President's new 7th-year term of great expectations. At the end of deliberations, the board adopted key resolutions expected to reinforce ANOR's mandate and improve service delivery in line with Cameroon's industrial and economic development objectives.
To sensitize the population, many people do not know the importance of the norms. So we have to sensitize the population to know exactly. Sometimes we do have some buildings who are falling because the materials are not conform to the norms. So we have to sensitize the population. We have to sensitize to the importers of goods and those who are producing locally to know that the norms are there and the norms are fixed by ANOR. They have to fulfill, they have to follow those norms.
The session concluded with renewed commitment from board members to ensure effective implementation of the adopted plans for the 2026 fiscal year.
The Cameroon Real Estate Corporation and MTN Cameroun have signed an agreement introducing the electronic pay system known as SICPay. The ceremony took place on December 23, 2025 at the conference room of the Cameroon Real Estate building in Yaoundé. Details in this report.
Rent payment has been made easier for residents of the Cameroon Real Estate Corporation buildings through the SICPay system. It is the raison d'être of this signing ceremony on December 23, 2025 between MTN Cameroun, represented by the Director of Mobile Money Corporation, Alain Nono, and the Director General of the Cameroon Real Estate Corporation, Dr. Amadou Sardaouna. This is in line with the digitalization and financial inclusion strategy that MTN Cameroun and Mobile Money Corporation has put in place.
So this innovation is extremely important because it is fully in line with the digitalization and the financial inclusion strategy that MTN Cameroun and Mobile Money Corporation have put in place in this country, because we are leaders and pioneers in that area for the last 25 years. What MTN Cameroun will put at the disposal of SIC is a digital platform that will allow all the people who are living in the buildings from SIC to pay their fees.
According to Dr. Amadou Sadaouna, it is important to secure the revenue collection of the Cameroon Real Estate Corporation in order to avoid risk.
We are signing the convention between MTN Cameroun and MTN Mobile Corporation in order to digitalize the revenue collection of Cameroon State Corporation. We noticed that with a big interest, we have to secure our revenue collection and to avoid risk of leakage.
This payment method will enable users to get a track of their payment records.
Beyond the payment, they will be able to trace and to have a tracking of all their payments across their life cycle. So we are doing a huge step forward in the digitalization and in the financial inclusion of the population.
While appreciating MTN top management for the implementation, hopes are high that all moves smoothly in the days ahead.
We have to thank very much the MTN top management who are here today in order to follow up the implementation of this digitalization after we implement in July.
This is a win-win for MTN Cameroun and the Cameroon Real Estate Corporation.
And as you heard in one of our lead stories, the people of Lamier in the Upper Nyong division of the East region have celebrated the 6th edition of the Kozime Festival, living up to great expectations with rich display of cultural and traditional heritage. Jessica Ndiwum completes that story.
From across Cameroon and neighboring countries, participants have converged to celebrate with enthusiasm and solemnity the 6th edition of the Kozime Cultural Festival. The week-long event brought together traditional rulers, cultural groups, artists and visitors around the rich program of cultural exhibition, artistic performances and traditional dances. We are proud to showcase our rich traditions to the world through our dances, rites, and other cultural expressions. The festival was also a time to unite our hearts with our ancestors. Participants were immersed in a vibrant celebration marked by cultural exhibitions, artistic performance, and traditional dances, including the coup, showcasing the richness of local heritage. The kuhu was a traditional dance of the Njem people performed on the Bakuli. It is deeply symbolic, traditionally performed to honor a man at his passing, reflecting his cultural significance. According to the tradition, this dance was reserved for men. It is not performed for women. Another major attraction of the Kozime Cultural Festival was a Miss Kozime pageant, which drew large crowds and heightened excitement. The Miss stood out as a vibrant platform for youth participation and cultural promotion, reinforcing the festival's role and highlighted her plan of action. My project as Miss Kozime 2025 is called Culture for All. This initiative aims to bring all Kozime people together to promote our customs and traditions on social media, harnessing modern information and communication technologies to share our rich heritage with the world. The closing ceremony was presided over by the representative of the Minister of Arts and Culture, stood out as a true demonstration of cultural expertise. The grand parade of traditional chiefs, crowned by the the symbolic handover of heritage to the youths marked the highlight of the major cultural event. We are here to honor and preserve our culture, what our great-grandparents built through their traditions. We continue today so that our children and grandchildren can inherit these values and benefit from them. A celebration rich in sounds and colors concluded in Lomia village with the 7th edition already set for December 2026.
And on to something else, the Yaoundé population is witnessing the emergence of improvised pork markets in various intersections across the city this end-of-year period. The initiative has aroused the enthusiasm of certain consumers. Our reporter Mimi Tiobo visited some of these sites in Yaoundé and noted that sellers are encountering significant difficulties. Her reports.
Pork sellers have been hard at work since the dawn of Christmas, cutting and selling pork to consumers in the Ifulan neighborhood of Yaoundé. Along the roadside, merchants have set up impromptu pork markets. This relocation is convenient for consumers who now have easier access to the product.
Well,
improvised markets are good. It prevents us from moving around with the traffic jam of this moment. It allows us to shop on the spot, and then we don't have to pay transportation. We avoid traffic jam. We even avoid thieves. The seller says they are offering their products at the same prices as those in traditional market, significantly reducing consumers' expenses and making the product more accessible. This helps households better prepared for the festive season.
Well,
it's true that we are sure of the quality of the product. For example, I bought 3 kilos. It's fresh product, freshly slaughtered, and it's seen. At the Sam Ifulan Crossroad, pork sellers have set up their stores along the roadside. Despite the challenges they face, they remain resilient and determined to make the most of their business opportunities. We don't have as many customers as we used to do, especially during this period. We are already struggling due to the current difficulties and circumstances. People don't have money, and on top of that, the city council agents come here to bother us. Meanwhile, agents from the Ministry of Livestock, Fishery and Animal Industry are carrying out regular inspections to ensure the sanitary safety of the product on sale, thereby protecting public health. In this atmosphere, both traders and consumers hope to benefit from this improvised market. For now, business continues, although some sellers plan to close their stores on the morning of December 25th, bringing this temporary trade to an end.
And in markets and neighborhoods around the city of Yaoundé, a local product known as putulu is gaining more and more view. Jessica Nziwum spoke with a doctor and traditional healer and brought back the following reports.
In market corners, potolo is sold quietly yet quickly, becoming the talk of the town. As the popularity of aphrodisiacs like potolo grows, attention is also turning to the limits of the effectiveness and the potential impact on the human body.
Also, you can also realize that some of these substances can interfere with the normal drugs that we take for our regular illnesses or concerns, health concerns, and these effects can be harmful. There are some that can cause, because you take them in association, they would cause, like in antibiotics, they will cause them not to work normally. They will destroy them earlier. Some can cause bleeding, and some can cause the loss of sexual desire.
In an insight with a traditional practitioner, he shared his perspective.
You know, fancy who begin take the thing way, no fun and you. For say I say we get people when them get sick. Now we get some problem for sick where they hurry you. Or they go really bad, some ministry for some pharmacy who want to green, so go get some for woman for bed. We want to go buy some ministry for root where one get power. Man we don't big where a big papa. If you take the ministry where go give you power, where you no get prostatic, where no get chlamydia, where no get pain. If we go take the ministry, forget some more power. For ça, c'est des man who don't big. All they see some more people when they go buy anything for root became green. Now the people they get plenty problem.
Back on the streets, opinions are mixed. Some see it as a harmless aid, while others call for more awareness and education.
It's not good for young boys them because that drugs is weaken body. It's not good for human. Eat fine and treat yourself very well. You're okay for doing anything you want to do.
I take Potolu because it works well for me. Whenever I have the money, I buy it. It gives me confidence. When you feel like you're not performing well, it helps you feel like there's no problem at all. Once you have taken it, you feel ready. Yes, sometimes I don't take anything. I just go naturally with my wife. But other times, I take a product to boost my performance. She also takes some good products from time to time so that things go well between us. The use of Potolu reflects a bigger issue: how traditional beliefs, modern stress, and social pressure collide in matters of health and relationships.
As you heard in one of our lead stories, the Policemen's Wives Association, known as POWA, this Thursday, December 25, 2025, honored orphans at the National Advanced Police School in Yaoundé, organized by Philomène Bargangele. This 11th edition was chaired by the Secretary General of the Ministry of Social Affairs. Jude Kenji attended this ceremony and brought back the following reports.
Beyond the gifts, this Christmas celebration is a vehicle of hope, comfort, and confidence, reminding all that solidarity remains an essential value within the security forces and Cameroonian society. Through this act, the Policemen's Wives Association reaffirms its civic commitment to orphans, making solidarity a lasting pillar of its social action. The ceremony was chaired by the Secretary General of the Ministry of Social Affairs, personal representative of the Minister of Social Affairs, who reassured attendees of the continuous support from the state and social partners.
We celebrated the 11th edition of this Christmas tree. It is made for children, orphans of policemen, fonctionnaires de police, and it's just to give them a little smile. And this edition is special because it falls the Christmas day. So, Merry Christmas to all of you. The gifts are categorized by age. So it's a very good surprise. Each of them will discover its surprise at home.
Beneath garlands and Christmas carols, the Policemen's Wives Association, known as POWA, an association for the wives of the national security officials and related personnel, celebrated solidarity and sharing this Thursday, December 25th, 2025. Now in its 11th edition, the ceremony was held at the National Advanced Police School in Yaoundé. The children's smiles illuminated the event, which has become a highly anticipated gathering over the years. I'm proud because I was given a gift. I'm going to keep working hard at school so they keep giving me gifts. Thank you, POWA. Thank you for everything you do for orphans.
Merci à la POWA. Je suis content d'avoir reçu les cadeaux à la POWA.
Philomène Bargangele, the wife of the Delegate General for National Security, led this edition dedicated to orphans. Donations composed of toys and food supplies were presented to the beneficiaries, reflecting POWA's constant commitment to vulnerable groups.
And on to this other story, party hopping or cross-carpeting is becoming increasingly common, with politicians switching allegiances in pursuit of personal gain rather than the ideological alignment. But does this trend actually help citizens? Jude Kenji spoke with a political actor and brought back the following reports.
There are several reasons for members or militants of a political party to move from one party to another, a practice known as cross-carpeting.
Militants when they are faced with frustrations, tend to quit, or tend to resign, or tend to jump the boat and say, we don't want to belong anymore. The second reason why militants cross the carpet or move from one party to the other is that militants in their militancy always carry out certain or function on the basis of petty calculations, petty interests. Interests either because they want a job, interests either because they want a contract, interests because they want to have access to meet some big people, interest maybe because they want to have some sort of advantage, scholarships, or some other kind of social benefits. Some political parties in their political programs, in their posturing, in their public posturing, tend to be more attractive.
The increase has nothing to do with ideology or objective factors, but is merely a question of self-interest.
Usually these interests are usually interests which have nothing to do with ideology, have nothing to do with objective factors. It's just a question of interest.
Cross-carpeting doesn't necessarily guarantee the desired results.
It is good and it may be bad, but what one should retain is that cross-carpeting does not necessarily favor the party to which you have crossed or to which you've gone. And cross-carpeting does not necessarily disfavor the party from which you've left. It doesn't necessarily follow. Because cross-carpeting, for example, if it's done at the level of leaders, a leader can cross-carpet, or leaders can cross-carpet, but their militants may not follow them. Militants can cross carpets, but their leaders may not follow them.
It should be noted that the Constitution allows citizens the freedom to express themselves through movement, belonging, and association.
And still in society, rent prices in Cameroon is becoming problematic for some citizens, as houses of roughly the same standards and prices are increasing in prices depending on the location. In the following report, the possibility of regulating the prices for the benefit of Cameroonians is highlighted.
Rent prices in major Cameroonian cities vary significantly based on factors like location, size, and amenities. The functioning of the housing sector is sometimes a cause for concern, and regulating this sector would be a beneficial option, but it remains a myth for tenants.
Est-ce que les ménages ont accès au logement? Est-ce qu'ils ont la possibilité d'accéder?
Do families have access to good housing? Are they charged affordable prices for houses? Talking about the regulation of this sector, it is a question that needs answers. And looking at the actual state of the Cameroonian market, allowing this sector to function following norms is something that will really be saluted for tenants, because there are many tenants that are in difficult situation because of their landlords, and that is why the sector should be regulated in a strict manner. However, it is important for stakeholders to strengthen existing laws which concern housing and rent, which could benefit both tenants and landlords.
Elle est possible dans la mesure où on peut édicter un ensemble de règles.
The regulation of the housing sector can be organized in several ways. It is essential to strengthen existing laws and regulations in order to ensure effectiveness. This can include imposing sanctions on violators, control and monitoring. Establishing control and monitoring teams is crucial to ensure that legal provisions are respected. The law must be clear and precise to avoid ambiguities and misinterpretations. This requires a good understanding of the sector, and it should be applied.
Qui sont édictés par la loi en la matière soient scrupuleusement appliqués.
Rent regulation in Cameroon is possible and can go a long way in protecting all parties concerned despite some uncertainties.
And that does it for tonight's edition of the news on Info Television. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for watching. Merry Christmas.
santé du côté de Plantes de vie. Aujourd'hui, comme toujours, on vous parle des bienfaits de la médecine à base des plantes médicinales